So let's be honest, these are pretty extreme stories. Did these things really happen 1440-ish BC? Did they really happen? I mean, does God really have this kind of power over nature? And if He does, then why isn't He doing the same thing today? Right? We're asking these questions. Why doesn't He devastate those evil countries with evil dictators and stop genocides? I mean, why doesn't He at least put frogs in my mean neighbor's mailbox? Right? Like, why doesn't He do something like that? Well, the answer, I think, is kind of simple. God doesn't need to display His power over and over again to prove that He is all-powerful. I'll say that again because it's that important. God doesn't need to display His power over and over and over again to prove that He is all-powerful. You either believe it or you don't. That's where we're at. Jesus was very quick to point this out to all the people that were following Him when He was doing miracles. He said, folks, I'm not doing these miracles so you can get more fish sandwiches. This isn't about free dinners. You either believe or you don't believe. You either put your faith in me or you should get out of here. And when it was all said and done, when He was resurrected and He appeared to the disciples, all but that one guy named Thomas, right? Thomas wasn't there. And Thomas made that bold statement, unless I see the holes in his hands, I'm not going to believe. So now we have this name, Doubting Thomas, right? He was the doubter. And then Jesus then goes to Thomas and appears to him and says, go ahead, Thomas, stick your finger in there. And he does. And he's amazed. And Jesus says this to him, blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Blessed are those. That's us. We didn't see what Thomas saw. We didn't get to put our finger in the hole in his hand, but we believe. Do you need to see 10 plagues to believe in God's power? No, you don't. It's been written, and we see it, and it's the truth. And you either believe that or you don't. You either have the faith or you don't have the faith. And I believe God can do anything. I believe He's all-powerful. And I don't think that He doesn't show His power today. In fact, I believe that He wields His power all the time, every single day. You may not notice it because, we don't see lice everywhere. We don't see frogs, everywhere. But I believe that He yields His power. He shows His power every day when He saves the powerless. Think about that. That's us. We can never save ourselves when we are sinners. As sinners, we cannot save ourselves. We cannot redeem ourselves. But here we're going to see the whole purpose of Exodus is that God is redeeming the Israelites. He's saving them, taking them out of slavery. And what does God do for you? What did Jesus Christ do? He redeemed you from your slavery to sin. He rescued you. You were powerless. While you were powerless, while you were still sinners, Christ died for you. So does God show His power every single day? Yeah, every single time someone says, I need forgiveness, God. I'm turning to you. I can't do it on my own. God has just shown His power over sin and rescued and redeemed you. The second way that God shows His power every day is to help you overcome those things of which you cannot overcome. I may or may not know what's going on in your life right now, but some of you, there's a situation going on in your life that you are absolutely powerless to it. It has overcome you, and you can't overcome it yourself. I mean, just be honest. You don't have to raise your hand. I know some of you are, just do this. Is there anybody here that feels powerless over something in your life? A lot of hands. A lot of hands. Now, when you're honest and you admit it, that you need help, then you can turn to God because He can help. Because what you've heard today is that He's all-powerful and that He can overcome anything that you have going on in your life. And all you need to do is pray and ask Him. It's a simple prayer. God, I'm powerless over this situation in my life. You know what my situation is. I need your help. I need your power to overcome. Please help, God. How's that for a prayer? It takes you 10 seconds to pray that prayer. And let me tell you, it'll be the best 10 seconds of your life. Because God can overcome anything going on in your life.